Hello friends, in this video we will be discussing about the execution of a C program. What are the steps we need to perform for execution of a C program? What are the different files generated during the execution of C program? And what are the things we need to taken care of when we are writing and executing a C program? So here you can see I have written a simple program for dividing two numbers. So just look at the code. We'll start from the header files. Here, first two lines you can see, this is the link section. We have discussed about link section and different other sections of a C program in our previous videos. So this is link section. In link section, we are supposed to write the header files. So here we have written header files stdio.h and conio.h. After that, very important thing is a main function. So here you can see this is our main function. So main function contains two different things. The first one is the variable declaration, which is this particular part is variable declaration, and second is logic. So here, since this is the program for dividing two numbers, so if we think about that particular definition, we can see that if we need to divide two numbers, so we need to have three different variables, or we can say three different containers with us in which we can able to store the value. So for that, here you can see that we have declared three variable named as a, b and c. All three variables are of which data type? That is of float type. Now why I have taken this variable as float? So the logic behind it is when we divide one number to by other number, then most probably our answer will be incomplete number. So if we take integer data type here, then we will not be able to capture the exact answer because integer data type is focusing on only complete numbers. But since when we divide one number by other number, it may possible that we will be getting incomplete number. Incomplete number means zero point 0.5, 10.7, 7.8 means fractional number we will be getting. So to make our result intact, we have taken float data type. Float data type means it can able to store complete as well as incomplete numbers. So here we have taken three different variables a, b and c. Now if we look at the logic, so this is our logic. Main logic is this: if we divide two numbers, means if we divide number a by number b, so our logic will be what? C equals to A divided by B. Means A will be divided by B and the result of that expression will be saved in C variable. Okay. So if we look at this equation, we can see that this A and B, these two variables, the value of these two variable is to be taken from user. So for that, what we have written? We have written printf statement just to prompt a message for user that user has to enter two values. So we have written enter two numbers. After that, to take the value from user, what we have used? We have used a scanf function. Now we are taking two values. One value for a variable, another value for b variable. Now, if you look at the data type of A and B, the data type is float. So that here we need to use percentage %f. And since we are taking two different values, we are writing this percentage %f two times. Okay. And whatever the value we will be entering will be saved in address of A and address of B. We have already gone through the concept of scanf and printf in the previous lectures, but still we have just revised it. So by this statement we can able to get the values of two variables A and B. Now we have the value of A and we have the value of B. So we can able to write the logic. Logic is C equals to A divided by B. After executing this statement, the answer will be stored in variable C, and that value we are printing because the result is to be shown to user, so that we are printing the answer on the screen. So here we have written printf percentage f c. Here we can write like this, answer is percentage f. That is also written, that is also possible. And to take it in new line we have used slash n, and at last we have written get ch just to pause the console so we can able to see the answer. Now this is our simple program for dividing two numbers. Now what I am doing now, the step number one, I have completed step number one. So step number one is what? This is step number one, writing a program using editor. So see, you can see this is a blue screen. This is my turbo editor. So if you are using turbo or boolean, this type of editor will be there. If you are using dev C++ or code blocks, then you will be having a different type of editor. If you are using online compilers, you will be having different type of editor. So this is the concept of editor in which we can able to write the program. Once my program is written, now I need to save my program. So I am saving my program. For that I can press Alt F and I can click on save, or I can directly press F2. So I am saving it. Now where I am saving? So I am saving this program in this particular directory. In bin directory, there is another directory named as project, and in that I have written executing.c. Now why .c? Because this is my C program. So C program is having the extension .c. Now I am pressing OK. You can see that my program name is changed. It was previously no name.cpp, but now it has saved and the name is executing.c. So this is my first step, and this is the first file created by user for C program, that is .c file. This is also known as a source program or source file. Fine. Now the first step is over. Now after that we need to check out that whatever the code I have written, is it correct or not, because we are not smart enough to rectify, or we are not, suppose we are not competent enough to write neat and clear code, or it may possible that many a time by mistake we have written something incorrectly. So just to rectify it, just to check it that we have written a clean error free code or not, another step comes into the picture, and that is known as compiling a code. This is very important. Compiling a code. It is known as compilation. It is also known as compilation. Compilation of a C program, right? So what we mean by compilation? So compilation is, you can see here, checking for syntax error. Checking for syntax error. Now here we need to understand that what we mean by syntax error. I'll just show you that. Suppose here you can see the data type is float. So exact spelling of float is float. Okay. So if I'll be missing any of the characters, suppose in place of float I have written float, and then I am trying to compile this code. So for compilation I will press Alt C. I'll click on enter. Now you can see there are some errors listed. Okay, and here the error is there in the line number 7. You can see this line number 7, undefined symbol float. So this is the use of compilation process, or this is, we can say, the advantage of compilation. We can able to know what is the error and where that particular error is. So From that we can able to rectify. So this is known as compilation. It means checking for the syntax error. For example, suppose I miss out a semicolon here. Suppose the statement should be ended with the semicolon, but I miss out it, and then I am trying to compile this code. So again I will be getting error. What is that? Statement missing. You can see here, error is statement missing, and it is there in line number 10. So from that you can get to know where is the problem. So statement missing, which statement is missing? Semicolon. So you can get to know that semicolon is missing over here. So this type of things are known as syntax error. Syntax error means error in the format of the program. The format of the program is decided by the developer of the C program. So we need to follow that format, and if we are skipping or by mistake we have not written some of the part, or we have written it incorrectly, then that will be identified in the second step, and that is compilation process. Now if my program compiles successfully, if my program compiles successfully means without error. So now you can see alter C compile. So here you can see warning 0, error 0 means what? My program is compiled successfully. So once my program compiled successfully, another file will be created, and that particular file is having the extension .obj. So first of all we have seen one file, that is .c file, which is, you can see here, that is executing.c. But once my program compiled successfully, another file will be created, and that file is known as object file, which is there in the machine code, which is there in the machine language, which machine can able to understand, because ultimately the program is being executed by the machine, by the processor. So this is very simple English language, but that is not directly understood by our processor. So this program will be compiled by the C compiler, and then it will be converted from simple C program to an object file, which is machine interpretable code. So another file will be created in my directory. The name of that file will be what? Executing.obj, which is known as object file. And after that, the next step is what? Linking and loading. Now here we have used two header files, stdio.h and conio.h. Now these two files will be linked, and loader will be linker and loader will be coming into the picture. My object file and other object files like precompiled files will be put together and generates executable file. Another, this is the third type of file created during the execution of a C program, that is .exe. Here you can see that after compilation and after linking and loading, we'll be getting another file, that is .exe. So since my program name is executing.c, another file will be created. The name of that file will be what? Executing.exe. So ultimately during the whole process there are three files created. First is .c file, which is known as source program. Another is .obj, which is known as object file, which is machine understandable form. And the third one, that is .exe, that is the file which is going to be executed. Exe means executable file, so which is going to be executed when you run this program. So ultimately three files will be created during the execution of the C program. Another term I want to show you, that term is known as data error. But before moving to data error, I want to show you that where my these three files are. So before that, we'll be running this code. We'll be running this code. So When we execute this, I'm executing my code, enter two numbers. So I'm entering one number is 12, another number is 5. I'm pressing enter and you can see the answer. Answer is 2.4. So this is how our program gets executed. So now I want to show you where are our three files. I have told you that there are three files. One is .c, another one is .obj, and third one is .exe. So let's check out. So directory, in our directory, so if we open C drive or wherever it is installed, so in Turbo C, in bin directory I have another directory known as project, and here you can see, you can able to see the file executing .c. This is my source program. But now you are wondering, or you might have question, where is .obj and .exe file. So let me show you where is this files. So here you can see these two files, executing.obj and executing.exe. So ultimately there are three files created. .c is our source program. Once our program compiled successfully, it will be creating another file, that is object file, and the third file, which is exe file, that is going to be generated. So ultimately there are three files generated during the execution of C program, correct? And where it is, yes, you might have questioned that why a source program is in other directory and object files and executable files are there in other directory. So that setting we can do. How we can do that? So we can go to options. In options we can click on directories, and here you can see that your output directory written here is C turbo C3 source. Your output directory is turbo C3 slash source. So whatever the files generated as an output of execution of a C program like .obj and .exe will be saved or will be stored in this particular directory. If I change this directory, suppose if I'm changing this directory to C turbo C3, then all those files will be saved in this particular path. So by this particular directory tab, we can able to set that where we need to save or where we need to store this different files. Okay. So because of the directory listed here, our files are there in source directory. Okay. Now the last point I'm talking related to this program is one another term is data error. Now what we mean by data error? Compilation we have seen. Syntax error we have seen. That syntax error, suppose I missed this particular bracket, and if I'm compiling, then I will be getting error. Okay, expression syntax error. So this is the error generated due to the format. But now format is very fine. There is no error in the format. Okay, and here I am writing one statement, clear screen, just to see that when we are executing our program, we can able to get the blank screen. So now this program does not have any error. Now if you compile this code, it is compiled very successfully, no error, no warning. But if I'll execute this code and I'm asking user to enter the data, now user is entering the value of a is 10 and the value of b is 0. Now we just recall that this is the program for division, a divided by b. Here the value of a is 10 and b is 0, correct? And any value, if we are going to divide it by 0, then it is not possible to calculate. So when I am entering the value of b equals to 0 and I am pressing enter, then you can see answer is infinity. So this is something known as data error. Okay, this is not exactly the syntax type of error. No error in formatting. Everything is written perfectly, but you are not getting correct output. Why? Because the data given by user is not proper. It is not correct. Okay, so this particular type of error is known as data error. So data errors are mostly generated during execution. Okay, and syntax errors are generated or identified during compilation. So ultimately this is how we can able to execute the program. In summary, I just want to tell you, during the execution of C program there are three files generated. First is .c, which is your source program, which you can write in the editor. Once you have written your source program, it must be compiled, means it is to be checked for the syntax error, means any error in the formatting will be identified during the compilation phase. Compilation is being done by compiler, and once your compilation done correctly, successfully, without any error, so another file will be created, that is .object file. And lastly, your object file will be linked with other object files, and it will be generating executable file. So that is the third file, that is .exe. So this is how three files will be created. We have discussed about two different type of errors. One is syntax error, means error in the formatting of the program, and the second is the data error, error generated during the execution due to incorrect data entered by user. So this is all about the execution of a C program. Thank you.